So the summer between high school and college, I got a job as a counselor at a summer day camp. And it was a local day camp, but I was told there'd be lots of trips. And I thought, oh, that's cool. Now, I was 18 years old. I looked like I was 12. And I found out that I'd be in charge of 15 6-year-old boys. And I didn't really know how to do that. I didn't know how to approach it. And various people told me, well, you have to be like a real hard ass at first and instill fear in them, and then they will respect you. And this being the 70s and me being an idiot, I completely ignored this advice. And I thought, I'm going to be the really cool counselor that they really look up to, and I'm going to be their friend. And it's not going to be like I'm an authority figure, telling them what to do. We're going to sort of be equals, and we'll have this sort of mutually rewarding summer experience that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives. So that was the approach I took. It so didn't work. And these kids were just all over the place, out of control, fighting, ignoring me, talking back to me. It was just a complete disaster. Now, as I said, there are going to be a lot of trips, and I thought this would be cool. It wasn't cool at all. And the problem was, we're out in public with these kids, and people make the assumption that since you're their counselor, you're responsible for them, like as if we're in charge or something. I don't know. And if something goes wrong with these kids and they're misbehaving, it's your fault and they blame you, which is just so unfair. And I want to talk about 3 particular trips that we went that I still have nightmares about. The first one was they had this summer camp day at Wolf Trap. So all the summer camps around the area attended. And it was kind of like, do you remember this magazine, Children's Highlights? There was this cartoon, Goofus and Gallant. Well, we were so goofus. And all these other groups were they were gallant. I mean, these kids were greatly behaved. They're lining up with military precision. They're singing songs, like the kids in The Sound of Music. And the counselors are super professional and totally in control. And our kids are just running around and throwing things and just wreaking havoc. And I remember this other counselor from another camp comes up to me, and I look at this guy, and he's everything I'm not. He's this really cool guy. He looks like a hippie god, like a rock star or something, maybe probably in college. And he says to me, "Control your kids, man." And I'm thinking, I don't know how. I'm 18, but I look like I'm 12. Help me. The second trip was to I'm still getting trauma from this. Rock Creek Park Planetarium. So we go there, we're waiting to get in, there's another group ahead of us, and we're supposed to line up, and this one kid is just running around, and I keep telling him not to run around, and he just ignores me, keeps running around. And of course he trips, and he skins his knee, and he's sitting there crying, and I put a Band-Aid, he's not hurt bad. And then I say to him, "I told you not to run around." And I get the sense, wow, the greatest job satisfaction I've had is telling a 6-year-old, "I told you so." How pathetic is that? So then we go into the planetarium, and there's this the prototypical kindly elderly park ranger there. He looks like a super nice guy. We sit down, and the kids are just all over the place, and they're misbehaving, and they're talking. And he kicks us out before the thing even starts. And as they're filing out, he gives me this look like shame. And it's just, something that just burns in your memory. The third trip was the worst. This was overnight to West Virginia. And this was a big deal because we were at day camp, so this would give us an opportunity to do all these outdoorsy things. And so I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. I mean, I was never a Boy Scout. And when it came to dinner time, we were supposed to build a campfire and grill hot dogs. And I didn't know how to do that. I throw a few sticks in the pit and flick in a few matches, and that, doesn't work. And I had a junior counselor who was 16, but he sort of had the emotional maturity of a 6-year-old. And he just spent the whole day for the whole summer, just sort of pouting. And, just setting the scene, we're all standing around this pit looking at these sad wisps of smoke, going up into the cold sky. And I'm standing there holding these cold, raw hot dogs. And all these kids are whining that they're quote unquote hungry. And meanwhile, the other groups have these blazing campfires going. You probably see them from space. And we can see these campfires in the distance. We can hear the crackling of the wood. We can smell the hot dogs grilling. And this one kid, and he's actually the same kid that was running around outside the planetarium, he goes to me, I've been to a lot of camps, and you're the worst counselor I've ever had. And I'm like, you're 6 years old. How many camps have you been to? What's your basis of comparison? And so then the next day, there's a lake there, and they're going swimming. And, I don't swim because I get ear infections when I get water in my ear. So I'm just sitting there by myself, and the other counselors come behind me, and then they throw me in the lake. And that weekend, I get like the mother of all ear infections in both ears. And then the next week's the last week of camp, so I miss Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Although I have to say, having an ear infection was better than being at camp. So it's the last day. I go in because it's the last day. I'm savoring the last day. The day's over. I go out into the parking lot. They're getting them on the bus. And I'm so happy. And I see some kid scratching a car with a pebble or committing a Class C felony or something, I don't know. And I'm about to stop and I say, wait a minute, I can just get in my car and go home and never see these people again. And that's what I did. And that was the end of my camp counselor career. Thank you.